in the first part, you will listen the presentation of Tornello CEO, Mr. Dave Coverder, and then will follow the presentation from the Chief Arbiter Marco Bergioli and the Deputy Arbiter Thomas Delega. And in the end, we will take some questions. Please mute your microphones. Close your microphones. You don't need to speak here. Mute your microphones, please. Because this is creating problem to others to listen.
Yok böyle bir şey yap. Yani benim adımı açamıyor musun çocuğum? Hesaptan çıkıp babam Zoom hesabımı alacağız.
Stefan and Ismini, please close the microphones who have open. So we will start now. The point of today's presentation is to see how this Tornello server working and some main things about the championship. It's an informative meeting. It's not the specific meeting for captains of arbiters that will follow tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And the purpose is, and this is why now we will have it and live in Facebook. All participants, parents, everybody else that is not in the Zoom meeting can follow and listen some basic things about the server and the event. As I said, in the end, we will accept some questions that will be useful also for participants, but specific questions about regulations and arbiters' roles will be focus mostly in participants and how the event is running through this site. So one information also, some of you sent some corrections the last day. Tomorrow noon, Wednesday, we will close totally the list. So from tomorrow noon, we will not accept more any correction because we need to finalize the list and upload it to Tornello and be ready to start. So if there is any correction, send us till tomorrow noon. After that time, nobody else could enter. Except if it was our mistake, it was a previous email or some mistake that we didn't get unnoticed. But we will not accept any new change after Wednesday, 12 set noon. And on Thursday, you will see the corrected list because all the corrections will be done together, uploaded, and the final list in each category. Another information is that what we need from some of you that they didn't say yet, because this is important, or we'll conduct you also, is that from the federations that they play in different venues, because some federations, they have only one venue, we need to send us a list where each player is. This, of course, will be task for the arbiters, but we need to know where each specific player is, because if we need to find them during the event. So please, all the federations like Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, I give an examples, Holland, that you have multiple venues. If you didn't send it already, if you sent it already, it's okay. If you didn't send it, please send us again the list and just mark with color in which venue is each player of your federation, because we need to have this information and finalize this list till Thursday. So with this two information, I will ask David now to take the microphone and start the presentation about Tornello.
Thank you, Theodoros. Yeah, my name is David Cordova. I'm the founder of Tornello, and we're just very excited to be hosting the competition on this platform. I'm going to take you through step by step the process that the players will see. So how they can create an account, how they can log in, how they can play their games. And then, of course, we can take some questions afterwards if we can. So Ismini or Marco, can you allow me to share my screen? Make me with the players here. Okay, so the
now
first. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the first step is that everybody has registered all of your players with the tournament officials, and part of the registration process will include an email address for the player. When we import those player lists with the emails, an email invitation is sent to each email address for the player, and that will help the players to create their account. So the first step will be to search in the inbox or in a spam folder if you can't find it in the inbox for an email from Tornello. Actually, the email from Tornello will say, Tomek Delega, the chief arbiter, is inviting you to join Tornello. Okay, so you'll receive this email, and there's a button which asks the player to create their account. Okay, so there'll be an invitation email in your inbox, and then there'll be a request to create the account. So now I'll show you what will happen when the player clicks the button. Okay. So when you click on the button for the account, it will take you to a page to confirm your account. So you can put your name. The player can select a password for participation in the competition. Okay, so this is to set up their account on Tornello.
David, one notice here only. They need to put, if they put the name as is in FIDE list, okay? The players, okay? They need to put the name as in FIDE list and in chess results.
Okay, so we'd like the user account to be in the name of the player also. So that's the same. All right, so then you can see we click login and your account has been created successfully. Okay, this is the easiest way to create the accounts. And I'll come back to this screen again later on, but you can see at the top of the page, it tells the player you're playing in this event. And for this example, I'm doing a under 12s. Join the tournament lobby now. So this is straightforward. If the players can find the email, then they can click through straight from here. All right. Next, I can show if you can't find the email, what can a player do? Okay, so maybe you sent the email, everything it's normal, but you can't find the email. So if you can't find an email, the players should just create an account on Tornello, again with the same email address that they have been given. Okay, so the same email address that you've given to in the registration, the players should click sign up, and then there'll be a create an account page here. Okay, so let's say the player creates an account. Okay. And then they get an error message that the email has already been taken. Right. This means that they have received an email, and this email has already been used in an invitation. So if they get this message, but they can't find the email, all they need to do is to reset their password. Okay, so click here to reset the password. And actually here on the right-hand side, we have a help video. So if some players need some help, they can click the video and watch a YouTube video with a help video. So reset the password. We put our email address in, and this will send now a reset password to my email address. Okay. So now I can go back to my, I can now go back to my email, reset the password, and I'll just reset my password here. When we reset the password again, we're through back into, we're able to sign in. Okay, so this is my password has been changed successfully. All right, so this is the two ways. The simplest one is if they find the invitation email in their inbox, they click on the invitation email, everything is set up straight away. The second one, they didn't find the invitation email, they can create an account. If they can't create an account because the email address has already been taken, then they just reset their password and they log in. So once the players are logged in on Tornello, a good sign that everything is working perfectly is if they see this blue message at the top, which tells them to join the lobby now. So all the tournament will take place in one location. It's one URL, which we call it the tournament lobby. So the players can click on this, it will take them to the tournament lobby. This is the list of all of the other players in the tournament. Everything is happening in this one room. Okay. Maybe if the players can't find the blue link at the top, if they can't find this link, they can look in My Events. They click My Events, they see, oh yes, this is the event I'm playing in. So they can find it from My Events, click on that one. Again, it takes them to the lobby. And finally, if they can't find a link on Tornello, if they can't find it in My Events, every player will have the direct link. This is a URL. This URL will not change. This is going to be the page where the tournament is playing. So in a case where the account is set up with a different email address from the one that we have on record, maybe it's a mistake, then you can come to this link on the day, you'll still be in the tournament lobby. Okay, so always this is the most important thing, to end up in the tournament lobby and to actually be signed into Tornello. These are the biggest problems we get.
Here. I want to say that for some players, even you didn't manage to register for any reason, don't panic. This is very easy procedure. Let's say even when you come to the venue, we can do it with the help of Arbiter in a few seconds. Okay, this is not an automatic system. We start the game when we want. So we will check that all players are ready to play through the venues. This is why, as also the arbiters will tell you, especially the first day, everybody should be at least 30 minutes in advance ready to play. Thank you, David.
Okay, sure. So yes, if just make sure two things, that your players, they're on the tournament lobby and it will tell them the event, make sure they're in the right event. So this is the open under 12s or the girls under 16, make sure they're in the tournament lobby for the right event, and make sure that they are signed in some way. So in the top, it's signed in. As long as they're signed in, they're in the tournament lobby, then we can help to connect their accounts if need be. Now, sometimes there might be multiple players with logging in with the same email address. Maybe one parent has 2 children, but only one email address. That's okay. When they come to the page, they'll see, and I'll just show you, I'll show you what they'll see. When they first come to the tournament lobby, it will tell them a message. There are multiple players on your account, and it will ask them to select which player they are for that day. Okay, so if you have one email address with multiple players, that's okay. Of course, all the players need to know the email address and the password. They log in, and then it will ask them, there's multiple players on this account, and the player has to select which is the player that they're playing with today. Of course, I'm showing you as arbiter, so I see all the players, but they'll see only the players on their account. Okay, so if you have that, this is what's happened. Okay, so now we move from the difficult part, which is signing in, to the easy part, which is playing the games. So all the players, they're now in the tournament lobby, and if they're signed in correctly, they'll have this message at the top. This event is starting soon. Check the box to let the arbiter know you're here. And by checking the box, what this does is it puts a check mark next to the player's name. And so we can see who's present and we can see who's ready to play the competition games. Okay, so all the players, when they arrive, they should sign in, they should tick this box to check themselves in and tell us if they're ready to play. Okay, if there is any problems here, I'll show you the screen that the players will see if there's some problem. Okay, so let me just find this. Okay. So this is what we call the tournament lobby, and at this bar at the top here, it's our notification bar. So you don't have to worry scrolling up or down. Everything is just always, there's a message at the top here. So if they don't have this box, I'm here and ready to play, they'll be seeing one of these messages. Maybe they'll see you're signed out and you're spectating, right? This tells them they're not even signed into the Tornello yet. So they can click the button sign in, they put their email address, their password, they've signed into the tournament. Okay, the next message they maybe can see is you're spectating this event. That means they're signed in, but they're just a spectator in the event. So if you see this message, you're spectating this event, maybe it's true, you're a spectator, but if it's a player, then they should reach out to the arbiter, to the section arbiter, and we'll verify your identity, and we'll provide a one-time token to allow you to play the games. Okay, so if there's some problem with the account, again, don't panic. It doesn't take very much. You'll see this spectating the event. Okay, so this is the message they'll see if there's a problem. Okay, so now we're signed in, and we imagine all of the players are signed in. So all the players, they come, they're checking the boxes so we can see, everybody is here. And when the arbiters are satisfied that everybody is here and ready to play the games, the arbiters will start the tournament. Okay, so let's just make a start to the tournament, and you'll see on the screen here what this player will see. Okay, so I will just okay. Done. And at the top of the top message bar, it tells you have a game against Nicholas Borg. Play now. Okay, so this is how the players can start the game. Once they've ticked the box, when the arbiters are ready, they'll click the play now button. I should tell you as well, all players are required also to join the Zoom meeting for the tournament. The Zoom meeting, it's this green button here. So they come to the tournament lobby, you click the green button, and this will take you to the Zoom meeting. Okay, so all players should come to the lobby, they should click the green button, and then it takes them to the game. All right, so the players, they've signed in, they've joined the Zoom room, everything is okay. Now the arbiters, actually I can show you, it's possible the arbiters will start by just publishing the pairings, so you can see who your opponent is, who you're going to be playing, but you can't start yet. And then the arbiters will say, okay, ready to go. Okay, I'm sorry if you hear my sounds. This is the noise. It just makes everybody aware it's time to go. And then the players can click the play now button. They join the game, and you can see we're just waiting for our opponent to also join the game. All right, so you can tell if the opponent isn't here because it tells me Nicholas Borg is disconnected, and there's this red icon here, this red disconnection icon. This is me. It's a green connected icon. My opponent is a red disconnected icon. So I can wait until, you know, if I want to be patient, I can wait a few seconds, be courteous to my opponent, and then eventually I can start his clock. So I click the start clock, and my opponent is ticking. You can see still he didn't connect yet. At some point, he's going to connect to the game. Okay, so now here he's connected. And then, of course, maybe he can make a move, and the game is underway. So now it's just like a normal game of chess. You make the move, and we wait for our opponents to make the move. The time controls, it's 25 minutes plus 5 seconds for every move. Okay, so I can click a piece to make my move. Maybe there's some problems during the game. All right, so Tornello, we try to make this as similar to the over-the-board chess experience as possible. So there are some things that Tornello will not automatically calculate a threefold repetition or 50 moves draw. If there is some genuine need to call the arbiter, the same requirement as in an over-the-board game, the players may click the button, call the arbiter. When they call the arbiter, it pauses the clocks, and the arbiter gets a message to say that the players are seeking the assistance from the arbiter. This has to be a genuine reason to call the arbiter. The same as when you're in the over-the-board chess, you can't stop the clocks and tell the arbiter, I'm feeling a little hungry, I want something to eat. You have to have a genuine reason. Okay. The arbiter makes his conversation, he makes his decision, and then he can resume the game. Okay. Once the game is resumed, we can continue playing. Okay. So this is this is simple from here. Okay. We have some questions in the chat about the chessboard, and this is. Or it's always number one question, players asking, can we change the color of the board? Can we change the pieces? Can we change the size? At the moment, you cannot change the color of the board. You cannot change the pieces. Everybody has the same pieces. If you want to change the size of the board, you can just zoom. Okay, so you can zoom as big as you like, make the chessboard as big as you like to make it. So you can zoom with your browser. So this is how you make the chessboard bigger, or if you like it to be smaller, you can make it smaller also. Okay. All right. So we'll continue. We'll continue the game. Arbiters can pause the clock, resume the clock anytime they like. If there's some disconnection problems, like you can see, maybe there's a disconnection. The first thing to try is to reload the screen. By reloading the screen, it doesn't make any disconnection for you. So if there's some problems, you're thinking it's a problem, you reload the screen. Okay. Game is finished. Of course, we resign the game. After the game is finished, back to the tournament lobby. Results are automatically in the results section, and of course players can then watch any of the other games. These are all live games. Okay, so they can go and they can see any other live game if they want to. So of course, round 1, round 2, round 3, round 7. There's two options. It can say view, or it can say watch. View, it's a finished game. This game is completed. It's already finished. You can play through the moves. If you're watching the game, it's a live game. Okay. So these are the options. Okay. So we have a question about the call arbiter button. So let me just let me show you also. Okay, I'll just restart this. I'll restart the game. We'll go through this again. So we delete the round. I'll restart the pairings for round one. Okay, and then we can see play now. So we can start the game again. So you can see there's a button underneath the chessboard, call arbiter. We can start the clock. We can call this arbiter if we need to call the arbiter. Okay.
David, may I say something about call the arbiter, because it was something that I wanted to mention during my time, but as you have spoken about it, I would like to make some remarks on that. There will be two kinds of arbiters. There will be sector arbiters and on-site arbiters. On-site arbiters will be in the venues the player will be in, while sector arbiters will be working mostly through Zoom. So the button call the arbiter is dedicated only to call the sector arbiters. If you want to call, for example, the on-site arbiters to get any assistance, then you can call him directly in the venue. But the button call the arbiter, which is also stopping the time, it is dedicated only to call the sector arbiters and only for few reasons. Most of the reasons are threefold repetitions or 50 moves claims, or other urgent matters that require some decision on the game. So just remember that if you call the arbiter, the sector arbiters, and you're stopping the time without any specific reason, there will be a warning. At the second time, the arbiter may decide to penalize in some harder way the player who is stopping the time unreasonably. So for just immediate assistance, you can always call the on-site arbiter and relate to him. Then if the on-site arbiter is deciding to call the sector arbiters, it's another matter. But the only reasons that you can call directly the sector arbiters are for threefold repetitions claim and 50 moves, or very urgent reasons that requires a decision on the board. Thank you.
Okay. So actually, from my side, there's not much else to show. This is the process. You play the games, then we're waiting for the next round to start. The arbiters will tell the players when the second round is starting, and the second round continues on there. Okay.
So, David, there is some questions that you can see to the chat.
Yes.
I mean, maybe you can take some of them now. Sure.
Okay, so we have some questions about 50 move draw, threefold repetition. These are not automatically calculated. So the chess server will just play a game of chess. It enforces legal moves, but the 50 moves draw or the threefold repetition, you must call the arbiter if the players can't make an agreement between themselves. So of course the player can offer a draw, the opponent can accept the draw, but if there's some problem, then we can call the arbiter. We have a question about Cloudflare. So yes, Cloudflare is a server. It's like an intermediary server between Tornello and the actual players. So the question is about how we will discover if the disconnection is the player's problem or if it's the server problem. And so we have some live arbiters in the room with the players. So we should be able to see if there's some players if there's an arbiter in the venue. The arbiter in the venue can see there's a problem and can report that problem to the sector arbiter. The sector arbiter can pause the clock if need to pause the clock, and we can do an investigation. And I think there's some rules which Theodoros, I saw that we had some rules that have come out today, and so you just need to read the rules about the process of disconnection and when you can reconnect or not reconnect. If there's any specific players saying that we have some individual players, I have a specific question about a player that has some troubles. You can email help@tornello.com and you can get some individual technical support or customer service if you need some individual support. So we're happy to help individual players if they have some, some issue. If they've received no email, and when they create the account, they don't see this blue bar at the top, the answer is that their email address that they have used to create the account is not the same as the email address that they sent in the registration. It's very easy for us to update that one, but we just need to know. So you can contact through Marco, or you can contact directly through Tornello, or you can do that through your federation. Okay. Yeah. If they need to access the tournament lobby, they can use the direct link. I know we had some players, they were saying that the home page was being blocked in the Ukraine. We're using a content management platform that was blocking this page in the Ukraine. If that's the case, that's we've tested. You can use the direct link, and if you use the direct link, then you'll come to the tournament lobby. Okay.
David, just to answer some questions that I see, also
yes.
just to say a few things, because there is some question about this threefold repetition and 50 moves. I just want to say this. We are working the last 2 months with Tornello, and we asked David to develop many special features for us. Because, for example, the start and pause of clock, that is not possible anywhere. I mean, that we can do to start the round, to upload all the pairings through chess results and go back. So this for 50 moves and threefold repetition, in the future will be also automatic here. We ask at least about this, but it cannot be developed all together. So this, because this will work as in the over-the-board tournaments. They will not mix the on-site arbiters. The sector arbiters and the chief arbiter, the deputy, can look all the games. So simply, if one player has 3-time repetition and his opponent doesn't accept draw, he pauses the clock and coming the arbiter, and in few seconds can check this, and the arbiter can declare the game draw with pushing one button. It's like
there are some questions where I have to say something as well.
Yes, I mean this. So this is not to worry, because we are, let's say, controlling the tournament like an over-the-board event. There are arbiters, we have time, and we are, let's say, see all games from different sides. What other questions? It was many questions that you are asking, as I told you in the beginning, will be answered in the captains and in the arbiters meeting. Okay. Yes.
By the way, about the request from Zoran Stoichevsky and Vlad Artemiev on threefold repetition and 50 moves. The entitled arbiter to decide on these two claims are always the sector arbiters. Don't call the on-site arbiters for threefold repetition or 50 moves, because the only thing they can do is to relate to the sector arbiter as well. So it will just be one more step. On the fact that the options are not automatically, I have to mention that there is no automatic draws for threefold repetition and 50 moves in the laws of chess. So this feature is consistent with the laws of chess, where the players have to call the arbiters, and the arbiters will check if their claim is correct. And they have to call him in the right way, which is provided in the laws of chess. I mean, before moving or before making any move. So this will be, of course, we will go deeper in that when we will have the technical meeting, but for now, just remember, it is just an over-the-board game played on internet, where the entitled people to decide on threefold repetition and 50 moves are the sector arbiters. And there is one question from France and the same from NDOE. What about the players who will play from home? Basically, they will not have any contact with the on-site arbiters because from their home there will be no arbiter. But I think that if the whole team is playing from home because of different restrictions, the federations will provide some way to communicate between them and their on-site arbiters, which will be at home as well. So everything remains the same. When they need to claim for threefold repetition on 30 moves, they can, or 50 moves, they can just call the arbiter with the Tornello feature. And for any other exigence, they can relate on their, let's say, local arbiters and not on site in this way. But we're not mixing the things. And remember that for whom is playing from home, the rules about disconnection will be very much more strict than for the ones playing from a central venue. And the last one is from Michel Bartel. Can on-site arbiters count moves and intervene? No way.
Yeah, so the on-site arbiters also cannot change the clocks. So you can see here the sector arbiters can make a change to the clocks, but the on-site arbiters cannot do this. This is only for the sector arbiters. Okay, so we have some questions. Also, this home page, it's not working in Russia as well. So if the home site, this is our content management system that we're using, we'll change that one at some point so that you can access. But for players, if you can't access the home.tornello, then just go and put the direct link /chess. It will take you straight into the tournament. Or if you have the tournament lobby directly for the tournament lobby, you can take directly into the tournament lobby. Okay, so this is what you should do if you can't access that site. We have a question about automatic ping to the website. If all players are playing from one IP address, the same IP address, it will not close. So this will not close you if you have two players in the same house or on the same IP address. It will allow you to play multiple players on the one account, multiple players on the one IP address. So this is quite common that maybe siblings in a same household, they're playing on the same IP address, they're playing with the same email address login, but they're playing on different machines. So this is okay. Actually, the arbiters, just so that you're aware, the arbiters will have the ability. You can see these green and red indicators for all players in the tournament. So the arbiters can see at all times which players are connected or disconnected to their games. The preferable browser, it works on all browsers. Of course, Chrome is probably the preferred browser, but all browsers should work. If you're using an Internet Explorer browser, this is now not supported. So maybe you can get some unexpected behavior if you're using Internet Explorer. But any modern browser, as long as it's up to date, Chrome, Opera, Safari, Firefox, it's all okay. It's possible to use on an iPad or a tablet, but not on a phone. But I believe the tournament regulations has to be it can't be on a tablet device anyway. So yeah, any browser is okay.
David, just to say, because I don't know, because we have this notice from Ukraine, I don't know if it's Russia. So if you have problem with the homepage, then as David told you, you just go Tornello/chess, correct, David?
Correct.
And you go direct to the server, the playing server that is not. So, and if you have any question of this technical, also you can write to David and check it, let's say, immediately, this thing. But from now we have the information from many players from many countries that they register and they are in the tournament very okay. Yes, thank you, Michael, for this. And one other notice about... Yes, David.
Oh, sorry, Theodoros. I just put in the chat to everybody an email address if they need some support, help@tornello.com. I put this into the chat. You can save this. You can share this with your players. If there's some individual player, they have some issues, we can help people through. help@tornello.com.
Yes, and I want to repeat that because this presentation is useful for many people. This is why we have it live now on Facebook, but after then, will be also recorded the same video on Facebook, so you can share it and many players can see what we are showing and speaking now, because from previous event, we understand that also that the information of people and players in such events is very important. I mean, to have as much as information in advance before the tournament starts, and this is why we are making 3 meetings this week. As far for the site arbiters, that I saw many questions, and of course Marco and Tomek will tell you more, but I saw that you have many questions about this. The site arbiters is for fair play, to ensure that people are all in their seats, that they are all connected, and they don't intervene in the games because they are not impartial. So this is work of the chief deputy arbiter and the sector arbiters that communicate with players through the Zoom link, and they can do everything. And the on-site arbiter also can help in some, let's say, situations that, for example, one player has a disconnection or a technical problem. Then the on-site arbiter can speak with the sector arbiter and report it. Okay, this is the other. But all these details will be explained to the arbiters meeting tomorrow. And today also Marco and Tomek said a detailed, let's say, a detailed duties paper for each arbiter.
Theodoros, we had one more question about touch move. Tornello does not enforce touch move. We're working on some features which will allow touch move, but right now it is not touch move. So the same like any other chess server, you click one piece, you can click a different piece. I also encourage, if anybody is interested in testing the site more, they can create their own tournament, and you can run a local tournament yourself. It's very easy. So you just you create an account for yourself as a captain or as an arbiter, and then you just click a run tournament button, and you can start running your own competition. You can test it yourself with your players and local players. So I encourage that if you want to see all of these things in action, just to create a tournament, take 3 or 4 players in your team and have a little blitz tournament, one evening before Friday. Okay. The question about pre-moves, there's no pre-moves, so you cannot select a piece and make a pre-move. It's like a over-the-board chess. After your opponent makes a move, then you can touch your piece and make your move. And illegal moves cannot be made. So it will not let you make an illegal move. Tornello server protects against illegal moves. And then the question about flag fall in an insufficient mating material position or a forced draw position. It does not enforce a forced draw. If the clock runs out, the time is over, the player shows that they've lost the game, but it's not a problem because the arbiter can easily change the results. So if the player runs on time, but actually it's king against king, and the player runs on time, then call the arbiter. The arbiter can make the decision. It's a very simple decision. Okay. So at the moment, Mehmet, no repetitions are enforced. A 5-move repetition is not enforced by Tornello. So, you know, these are some of these features are still new for the platform, and we'll be working on those ones. So each time you play an event, the next time it will be a little bit better. There'll be some more features. So also we encourage anybody who has some feature suggestions, please email them through to us. You know, let me know. We'd love to hear feedback from players and from arbiters and from coaches. What can we do to make this platform you know, better for everybody? Safari browser is fine. Safari is okay.
David, before I give the floor to Marco, I just want to answer to Zoom links. We have 10 Zoom meetings. Each category has its own Zoom meeting. So each category has own Zoom meeting with the sector arbiter. So they are in different Zoom, of course, each category, and this is controlled by category. There is another Zoom meeting for the on-site arbiters, that on-site and sector arbiters, that also there the on-site arbiters should connect the camera of the venue. So from there we see, let's say, the venues and the sector arbiters and the chief arbiter. And there will be a 10 Zoom meeting that there will be me, the appeals committee, and also captains can join if they want to discuss something with the arbiters or with the appeal. So there is total 10 different Zooms, but this will not confuse the players, because the players they push, it is integrated, the Zoom link. Every day that they enter the system, they just put enter Zoom link and they're going. So they don't need to know, let's say, the link. They just push the green button.
Theo, regarding the communication, I think it's worth to mention that we will try to use only chat communication. And also it is very important to use the private chat when possible. So I mean that it's not good to say the message to all persons in total, because in one Zoom call we will have about 100 participants and players. So if you want, for example, call an arbiter, better is just to write direct to the arbiter. And each arbiter will be marked on the Zoom call as an arbiter. So if you want to write to the arbiter, just write private message to the arbiter.
In general, from the player's point of view, what the player has to do, more than play on Tornello, is just to activate the Zoom call with screen share and camera on from his place. And when he needs to communicate with the sector arbiters, he can use the chat on the Zoom call. This is basically what the player has to do, as many other online tournaments, and this is not different on this side. The only difference will be on the features of the platform, which is more consistent to the laws of chess than others, and that's why we have organized this info meeting with the instructions David Cordover gave you in advance. So on the side of the player, I would say that this is more likely more similar to an over-the-board tournament than other cases. So what is very important is to remember that at the time which has been scheduled for the game to start, the games will start. Even if the players has not played the button, play now, which David showed you before, the time will start to flow, because we have a very tight schedule and we cannot let the tournament go over and over to wait for anyone to be at his place. So the on-site arbiters will help a lot with that, reminding the players to be on their place at the right time. But remember that we are not waiting players. It's their responsibility to be at the screen and push play now when it is time to start. The sector arbiters will announce on Zoom, and it will be the only oral communication. The other one will be with the chat. Please start the round, it is time to start the round, or similar. And in that moment, the time will start to flow for everyone. Only in case or major issues like sudden internet breakdowns or disconnections or similar, you can ask for assistance to the on-site arbiters, which will report the sector arbiters. And in very small cases, we may decide to postpone the round of few minutes to let the people be connected. But this is emergency situation. The normal scenario is that at the time which is scheduled, the time will start. When the time is starting, the player has all his time to join the game. So the time is flowing, but the player will be able to join it since he has time in the clock. But if he is late, we are not waiting for him to start the clock. This is exactly as in an over-the-board game. The clocks will start, and then the player may join when he is ready.
Okay, I think I can hand over, Marco, to you now. If anyone else has questions for me about Tornello, about the platform, you have the email address for help. And like I said, just set up a tournament and try it yourself with your players. Have a little blitz tournament, give them some practice so they can see how it works. It's a good idea.
Marco, do you continue with the presentation of pairings and how this will be done?
I will just tell a couple of words about where we publish the pairings and how we do them. But most of the things I wanted to say this evening, I have already said in the times I have spoken with David. So all the details about regulations will be given during the technical meeting, as this meeting was meant only to be informative. Is that okay?
Yes, you will not add something more now?
Yes, I will, about pairings.
Yes.
We are running the pairings with an external engine, which is namely Swiss Manager, and we are publishing everything on chess results. So just 1 second to show you. You should see now chess results. You choose this link ECU, the one in Latin script, as the one normally is Ecuador. You have to choose the Latin, which is European Chess Union, and you see you have this tournament, and also a section captains and arbiters of the captains of all the teams and the local arbiters, the on-site arbiters for every federation, and they are marked. The captains are marked with C, the arbiters are marked with A. So in case you need to know who are the on-site arbiters and the local arbiters and the captains of the team, please check on this page and you will find everyone. And for each category, we have, of course, the normal pages of chess results. You will find here the pairings. At the moment, we publish them, and in Tornello as well, so you have a double way to check who is the opponents, who are the opponents of your players. And also you have here the schedule, in case you don't remember. You can check exactly at what time you have to be at the screen. Also, these details are published in the regulations. I would like to ask you now, as we have closed the registration and we are allowing only like corrections, let's say, which will close tomorrow at noon, to check, please check today and tomorrow morning if your teams are properly registered, and in case send an email to the address of the competition and also to me as well, as I will be in charge to make the pairings, to deliver us any correction which is required. Of course, you cannot change now players or add players, but if you have any correction, please submit us before today to tomorrow at noon, as we have to republish the final list and load it in Tornello to start on time on Friday. Here you have all the information also divided by federation. If you choose any federation, you will find all the players and also the categories playing in, and the arbiters and the captain. So please, a responsible for every federation will check, and in case there is something wrong, will relate to us to make the proper corrections. I have nothing to add for today, because all the details for the regulation will be delivered in the proper technical meeting. So if Tomek has something that he wants to add.
Okay, so once again, what I would like to say is that we are using Swiss Manager to register the player, to send the player to the Tornado server, and then we are using also Swiss Manager for the pairing, and we are sending the pairing as the PGN file into Tornado. We are import this PGN file into Tornado, and then you will see the pairing on the Tornado. Of course, on the Tornado, there is also possibility to make a pairing, but we will use Swiss Manager as authorized FIDE tools for the pairing. And maybe what I would like to remind you once again, because Theodoros mentioned this at the beginning, is that for the first day especially, it's very good to be to ask the player to be 30 minutes earlier than start of the round, because you can have a problem with let's say internet connection, I mean local problem with the Wi-Fi and something like that. You can have a problem to register on Tornado, you can have a problem with Zoom call, with your equipment, with your devices. That's why on the first day we recommend the players to be 30 minutes before the start of the round and be ready, try to be ready for playing of the round. And I think it is all what I would like to add, because David, Marco, and also Theodoros at the beginning mentioned all what I have noted on my screen.
Thank you, Tomek. I just want to say, I mean, also closing this informative meeting, because we will continue tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, that for us it's very important the cooperation of federations in this matter, and this is why we conduct the tournament like this and not like an open tournament as we make a previous one. And also we worked a lot the last 2 months in order to develop some features in Tornello. It will be easy to make a tournament like before, but the most important is that we want to make the control of the arbiters and to imply the rules as we know it, and nothing to depend in an automatic procedure that nobody knows how it works. Here, let's say we know that we have arbiters that can judge any position. We have players in venues. We have cameras, and we have many tools that can help us, let's say, disable the over-the-board chess through an online competition. And it's very important, if you have any technical problem, as for example, access to server, as they had 1-2 countries, you can write from today to David to give you any instruction needed. You see that Armenia solved this problem, Ukraine also I solved. So if anybody has problem of access, just write to David to help you with this matter. The next step is tomorrow, it's arbiters meeting, when arbiters will give all this information of what each arbiter is doing. And I repeat that each arbiter and each federation should report and should know which exactly players are in the venue, and this list should be sent to the chief and arbiter and to ECU, because we have to have this precise information. And on Thursday, we have a captain's meeting that will discuss more about regulations and specific cases, that some questions already were asked today. And so 3 meetings before we start. It's good to share this video with your players, so to get acquainted with this environment. And try on Friday to be at least half an hour before, if not more, to settle all the people there, connect them, so to be ready to start on time.
Tell one more remark. I would like to underline that for us it's very important that player, especially this player who will play from home, will read the chat messages on Zoom, because this is only way of communication with these players. So we will try to catch the player by Zoom chat, and this is only way of communication for us. So it's very important for the player also to read private messages on Zoom chat.
To Luke Cornet, yes, all the emails have been sent, so all the registered players should have received the email from Tornello. If not, they can check in spam folder, but there is also some possibility that maybe there is some typo in the email addresses, both coming from Federation, both from me, as I have registered more than 700 emails. So if some player, if the whole team didn't receive the email, there is a problem. If maybe only one or two of them didn't receive, then probably it's a typo.
Look, we have reports that in general people receive the emails, but if there is a problem in Belgium for any reason, you simply give the link. You simply give the link from the sign up, and they sign up with their name as it is in FIDE and in test result. It's exactly the same. The only difference is that you get the link with the invitation, or you can go direct to the link. So there is no any difference on this registration to the server. About the home players, I have to say that these players are less than 10%. We have around 750 players, and concerns some players that they have COVID restriction mostly in their countries. These players, of course, they will play with some under special surveillance. We ask to have a camera behind and beside them so we can see them during play and their laptop and their desk. But additionally, for these players, of course, everything will be much more stricter concerning fair play and concerning disconnection. For example, these players, if disconnect, they will not have the way to come back in a round. Of course, in any case, they will have more strict approach in regulations by arbiters, by sector arbiters, and by fair play committee, the appeals committee, because they are not under supervised, but is a very small number and around 10% of the total. Paul, yes, the emails already been sent because this happened when the arbiters uploaded the list to Tornello. If one player didn't receive, till now will not receive an invitation anymore. You just need to go to sign up in Tornello and write his name exactly as is better as it is in the list and in the pairings. Put any mail and password and just register. It's the same. It's 2 seconds to do this. You don't need nicknames. You don't need something special. Mail and you sign up. So speak with your players. This video also in the beginning explain all this. You can show them. And please, till Thursday, be sure that it's better to be already registered. I told you in the beginning, but even in the venues, we can register someone in few seconds if we show that he is not registered. So there is no reason somebody to panic. But it's better to do it in advance so not to lose any minute for such cases. The fact here is that we control a lot what is happening, okay? So it doesn't control by the engine, it's controlled by us. I mean, this event, so we can intervene in many, many things during the tournament. About the opening and the closing ceremony. The opening ceremony just will be some welcome in Zoom, and the same in the closing ceremony. It will not be something special. Perhaps we will invite the winners of each category. in a Zoom call in order to congratulate them for their achievement.
And I would like to mention about the closing that the standings will be available on Chess Results. Then we will upload, hopefully also to Tornello, but immediately after the end of the tournament, they will be available on Chess Results.
Yes, and I don't know if Marco said this. After the end of each group, one round, the arbiters will make the pairings. The pairings will appear first in Chess Results. Theoretically, players will have some time to prepare before they enter the room for the next round. Because later, the arbiters will load the pairings in Tornello, and then 5 minutes before, they must be in the room, in the isolated room, to continue to play. Just this remark that you will be able to see the pairings in advance, and you can also have maybe a few minutes to speak with your coaches about your next opponent. Okay, so I think that we can close this informative meeting. As I said, that it will be recorded in Facebook, so everybody can see it. You can link to your players and share. And I think it's important information for any player to get acquainted with the Tornello environment.
Ariel, regarding token, we will speak during the arbiters meeting, okay?
Okay, so thank you very much. And we hope that we will manage to do anything as scheduled, but we ask also your patience and your help, because this is a big operation that if we succeed, or let's say in the most of the parts, I think it will be a role model for future events in online that will be also more fair and transparent. That is the main thing that we, let's say, suffer during this competition. Okay, so bye for me, bye for our arbiters, and see you, many of you, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.